Cyborg 86. Today we're going to show you this sweet Ford flatbed that you can print and build yourself. That's right, files are available, and as always, they're available for free. That's right, free as always. I got this file for free myself by a very generous designer who made it for the SCX-24. And then I modified it, shrunk it down, put my own touches on it, and here it is for the Jiabaile. This one's pretty easy to print and install, but it will require some modifications to the electronics. Not real hard, but I'll show you that in a little bit, so I suggest you watch that before you decide if you're going to build this thing. This is designed for the 3602 Blue Monster Truck version only. I haven't tried it on the 3601, but if I do, I'll let you know. So we'll take a look at the files now and the parts that'll print, and at the end I'll show you some design considerations, in case you're interested in that. This file is designed by Callie Crawler out on Maker World, who very generously licensed it so that we can remix, modify, and repost so that you can print it out for your various different rigs. Thank you very much, Callie Crawler. So here we have a cab. We got a bed cover, a couple of them. I modified a second one, put some side rails on it. Then we also have a headache rack. And then there's a couple options for beds. One has holes for tail lights, the other one does not. Other than that, they're pretty much the same. Now I did do some cutout relief for the electronics, and I also had to put some holes in for the shocks. The original file had a cutout in the hood for the SCX-24 motor, so I designed this little cowl to go up over top. So that'll attach to the hood with a little dab of glue also. It'll also cover up the battery plug, which will really help with the aesthetics. When you're ready to start building, I suggest you put on a great RC channel and get going. Let's get this thing opened up and I'll show you what's required for modifying the electronics. When you get the body off, I would not unplug anything you don't have to, but you will need to unplug the battery. Up front, there are 2 screws to hold front bumper on. Then there are a couple more here. Actually, there's 3. You can take them all 3 out on the circuit board to get that away from the body. 2 of the screws hold the electronics to the body, and then the third one holds the battery case. We'll see that in just a little bit. Looking at the front bumper again, we already took those 2 screws out, so now we need to do just a little bit of prying to get the headlights out. There come the lights. Now on the back here, we also got 2 more screws that hold the charge unit and the lights in. So let's get those. And out comes the bumper. The rear lights are set in there a little more precisely, and you'll need just a little bit of gentle and careful prying to get those out. Now you could break it off. I've done that once before, and they need to come off anyway, so no big loss. But I'd suggest you just go ahead and try to get it out and then desolder it. Otherwise you don't know if it'll break in the right place. Takes just a little bit of patience, and then it'll come. When I was doing this, I had not yet taken out the 3rd screw that holds on the battery case, so we'll go ahead and do that real quick. Now we're going to need to unplug the battery, just to be safe while we do the soldering and things. Lately, my favorite method has been to use the tweezers to get a little bit of a grip on that plug and then slide it out. The battery's held to that case by some servo tape, so we'll go ahead and pry that off of there. Here's where things get interesting. First of all, I want to take off those front lights. Be careful that you get the front, not the rear. We're going to desolder those wires from the circuit board. Takes just a little touch. I think I run my iron around 320, 340, and it's quick and easy. The rears are a little bit harder because they're basically two circuit boards soldered together instead of just wires. And there's a little heavier soldering joint right there. So we'll go ahead and get those. And like a lunkhead, I failed to hit record, so I'm going to recreate it for you, show you what I did. There are 3 spots to desolder, and I started at the end towards where my finger and thumb are. And I just pull out a little bit, work my way across, pull out, work my way across. Sorry, sure wish I had that recorded. While I got the battery out, I like to take a knife and just cut that little nub off the plug, and that helps me remove it better next time. And we'll just go ahead and plug it in, fire it up. We'll show you that we didn't do any damage. Basically, we just removed the capability for the lights to work. So it's working fine without the light switch on. We'll go ahead and switch the lights on, which won't do anything, but shows that it still works. So we're in good shape. Okay, before we move on to the body, let's go ahead and mount the electronics here to the chassis. This seems like it was just made perfectly to fit right down in there. Fits nice and low with the battery plugged towards the servo. So we're going to just use some servo tape. I'll go ahead and clean it up with some alcohol first, but want to point something out to you when we do the servo tape, and that is clearance. This white gear here sticks up and is exposed. Sticks up above the top of the transmission case. So you want to make sure if you use servo tape that it's thick enough to hold the electronics up above there. This is pretty thick. If you have some thinner stuff, just double it up or put a spacer in there, something like that, but be real mindful of the clearance on that just to make sure the two aren't rubbing. This turns out to be just enough clearance, and I'm pretty confident with it. If it does rub, it'll be very minor. But here you can see, I'll try to show you here from the side. It's actually kind of satisfying putting this down on there because it just fits so nicely. In the battery, you got connectors towards the servo. Make sure your wires are not tangled or twisted, that kind of thing, and don't get pinched in there. And there we go. Holds nice and solid, just a little bit of tape. And it's almost like this body was made to fit it. Here's an early test print. You can see that cutout for the SCX24 motor. It's just like it's made as a cutout for this battery connector. And you also see why I made the cowl to cover it up. Now the switch part in the back is going to attach to the body and not to the chassis. I wanted to keep this slammed, so I didn't make any body mounts. We're going to attach the body straight to the chassis with servo tape in a little bit. But for now, what I'm going to do is just stick some tape on there, and I'm not going to peel it back, but that'll show you. So the electronics will be all ready to go when we're ready to mount the body. If you stick around to the end, I'll show you some tricks in Bamboo Slicer, how I did this. But for now, I'm just going to show you the plates that I got set up. Parts are all spread out, so you can easily print them in different colors. But I did leave the negative parts in there where I cut the holes, things like that, in case you want to tweak on it. So here we got the body and the bed, and look at that. The glue leaked and stuck the battery to it. I'll fix that later. Anyway, just using CA glue here. This is a Gorilla Glue tube. And this is a different print that didn't turn out well because I had the alignment settings wrong. So if you see them bumps, don't worry about it. The final one comes out very smooth. So I'm just laying a bead of glue here, and we'll go ahead and put the bed on. Now there's no guide to align it. I just like to put it about right there. And sorry for the shadows. Don't have the best lighting in the shop. Anyway, make sure it's all aligned. And there's just a little bit of the bottom of the window showing above the bed. So I'll go ahead and get that attached like I like it. Then I like to just stand it up like that, lean it against something, and let it dry. And when that's dry, just go ahead and put a little glue on the bed. Pick out the bed cover I want, stick it on there. Now, presumably, you'd want to go ahead and paint it before you put the bed on. You can print it different colors, or you can paint the different pieces different, whatever you want to do. That's why they're split out the way they are. But at this point, I'm just using an old test piece, so that's why you see it looking gray and ugly at this point. the headache rack, I just put a little glue along the bottom and then mounted it with the prettiest side out. There we go. One more part to install. And the cowl just glues directly to the hood. Uh, Check out my new toothpaste squeezer, trying out on the glue tube. Anyway, I like to put a little to the side because it has a tendency to squirt out, so I'm just going to put just a little bit of glue on there, glue the cowl to the hood, and then afterwards I can go back over it from underneath. In fact, I like to do that in most cases just to reinforce glue beads in places where you can't see it. And it always holds up. I've never had them break apart. So here's the test body and the nice new pretty one. I'm going to pull the test body off. I had mounted this just for test crawling. So, boy, look at that. Got a little chrome paint on there with a chrome pen. I got the headache rack chromed. I like just a few touches of chrome, nothing wild. This was the bed with the side rails. And yeah, there's always a dog hair on it. Love my dog. So I just wanted to show you here. You can remove it even though you've used servo tape. It's not really that hard, and the body's solid enough that you're not going to hurt it. And that's how easy it came off. I've rolled it several times and it doesn't fall off. So I really like this mounting method to keep the body nice and low and give it that slam look. So I just cut real small pieces of servo tape, and they're all going to go on top of the chassis rails in 4 locations there. So we're getting really close with this project. It also goes really fast, especially at 6x speed. And also the battery, if you look there, I went ahead and put just a little bit of servo tape, mounted it right there crosswise, and it reaches a plug-in. This was the case that was on it before, and it had some servo tape in it, or something like it. I suppose you could reuse that if you're really frugal. So when I was done, this is what it looked like. Got the tape on the rails and on the small electronic piece in the back where the charge port and switch are. Also got the battery taped on there, and now I'm just peeling off here. I'll speed that up. Before you set that body on there, make sure the battery's plugged in, and now you just get it aligned. The holes there for the shocks and left to right, give it a nice press. And this method works really well with this body. I forgot to show you in the earlier clip when I was mounting the other body, so I'll show you with this one. The back little circuit board there where the switch is, you can just go ahead and stick that to the body underneath the bed. So pretend like it's mounted. I'm just doing this one quick. You may have to adjust those wires, those 5 black wires coming out there, but you just slide that piece way back under the bumper as far as you can get and then press it down. You might need 2 pieces of servo tape depending on the solder, but if you stick it on there, it'll hold really well. You can access the switch and the charger. One of the things I really like about these little rigs is you can experiment. It doesn't take much filament to print. They're pretty cheap to buy, and you can do all kinds of creative things. They take up so little room, and they drive really nice too. If you look close at the bed cover here, this was my attempt at a diamond plate. I didn't include that in the file because it's not as good as I'd like. Plus, it seemed to overwhelm my computer, so I went with the wood bed that you see in the files, but I did add one with side rails. I kind of like those spare prints from development where I can just try stuff out. Tried out hydro dipping, and it seems the more I practice hydro dipping, the worse I get. Anyway, I touched it up a little bit. For those of you who are still here and may be interested, I thought I'd show you a few things. I modified this all in the bamboo slicer. I just took the original file, resized it, printed a few tests here and there, and added some cutouts. So I'll give you some details here. On the screen are the settings I've used. I do like to use supports. You need those for the cab and maybe a little bit for the beds. Other than that, not too much. For the other, a lot of times I'll print by object instead of print by layer. Here I don't have it set globally, but on the tray with the cab, the cowl's a separate part, so I use that one as by object. I think that just gives me a little better quality print. On the cab, I had to cut out holes for the shocks to come through. And then I also had to add a little extra piece to the grill up front because it just wasn't sturdy enough. It was sagging just a little bit. So I added a piece up there, and that would just reinforce that nose a little bit. There's the piece highlighted on the nose. I used a generic cube. So there it is zoomed in. For the shock cutouts, I just added 2 cylinders as negative parts, and then I shaped them like an oval just to give them a little more clearance. And it looked pretty good too. Here on the bed, I did 2 more oval cutouts. And there you can see that rounded rectangle towards the back, and that's just to cut the relief for the electronics. But if you're looking down the left there's the name of the individual components as I scroll through them. And here's the part for the relief cut. Then here's what it looks like when you slice it. Did need some supports there just for the bumper. Sometimes when you're doing this, quirky stuff happens. In this case, when I'd stand it up and trim with the bumper at the top, the supports would just fall off and part of the bed would fall out. It looked fine in the slicer, but it just didn't work right. So I kept it laid down. That was fine. Now we'll go ahead and look at the bed cover here. This is the one that came looking like wood, and I wanted some side rails on it. So all I did was go in and add a couple of rectangles on each side. And then I did a cutout just to angle them there towards the back. So now I got some side rails, and I got them angled. And when I slice it, it'll come out looking good. Now, if you're new to this, to add these parts, all you do is click on the object or right-click on it. Go to Add Part or Add Negative Part, depending on if you want to add a new rail or a new cutout. So we'll go ahead and do that here. Add. And there's your different shape options when you add a part or a negative part. Just pretty cool. The slicer's pretty sturdy. I've done some of this in Tinkercad, and it works there too, but doing it right here saves me a step of having to transfer it from Tinkercad to the slicer. I'll show you one more little thing here. Say, for example, you don't like the wood on this bed. You can add a new plate, and then I'll go ahead and copy the bed cover from the wood and paste it over here onto the new plate. Then what I'm going to do is resize it. I want it to be about twice as tall. So I want to turn off proportional because Z height is the only dimension I want to change. And we'll just double that up. And now it's thicker, but we want to get rid of the wood. So I'm going to click on it again, and I'll hit this button to slice it in half. And it defaults to about half the height. And if you look down at the bottom, I'll get there in a second. Yeah, there, when you get down to the bottom, I don't want the blue part. So I'm going to deselect that, tilt the cut, and now I got the bottom half, and it's all looking plain. No lines. So there you are. If you've never done any editing before, give it a try. I found it to be very addictive and very creative. It's a ton of fun. Coming up, I'll continue to work on these new rims so you can put some Orlando Hunter tires on your Jiabailes. That's a little more effort involved and requires some fine-tuning. Well, I hope you found this helpful. If you decide to do this build, I think you'll really enjoy it. I sure do. I appreciate your watching, and happy crawling.